Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for another episode of the Cosmopolite Collective. I am your host, Diana Lordson, and I'm here with my co-host, Tamla Middleton, and Paul Porras, aka Rave Daddy Paul.
Hello.
Hey, everyone.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing, beautifuls?
Oh, he's starting the flirting already. We're not even 30 seconds in yet.
Okay, how I
So,
like it.
Paul, I want to start by asking you, what do you call yourself? I call you a professional raver, aka a professional party animal. How would you describe what you do?
Okay, I think the best term is I'm a curator of a good time. So I
Ooh.
love to bring people together and to celebrate life and to raise the vibration by shifting the energy by wearing funky clothes and masks and wigs and just getting out of your comfort zone and just coming together. And I host sunrise hike dance parties on Camelback Mountain out here in the valley. I've been doing that for like 8 years. I have a 700-person hiking community group out here, and I'm just all about community building. I was a professional football player. I was always on a team of some sort my whole life, whether it was choir or Boy Scouts or any of the 5 different sports I played. But for me, it's just like I always love bringing people together that would normally not bring people together. And
So I'm going to go with professional raver
yeah,
then.
that's fine. I'll take that.
It just sounds cool. So you're also quite the dancer. How did you learn how to dance? I actually, before you answer that, I actually met you at a wedding in Mexico.
That's right.
And what was your role at the wedding?
I was not the flower girl, but the shot boy. And so what happened? Shout out to Leonard and Courtney. We went out to Tulum. It was like almost 2 years ago, and they had this idea. They're like, "Oh, Paul, how about this? You're gonna wear a shirt and pants that you're gonna rip them off, and you're gonna have like tuxedo." First of all, they wanted me to have like tuxedo banana hammock. I was like, "No, I'll do the boxers, whatever." And I just ripped everything off going down the aisle before they walked down, and I put like a pink
You
afro
did.
on, and the song "Shot Shot Shots" by what was it? Who sings that song? Just "Shot Shot Shots." I can't remember.
I can't
It
remember.
doesn't matter.
I have it in
Anyways,
I can
oh, it's
see them in my mind.
She
not
had
the
the
name
shot,
is
shot, shot. So,
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyways, so
Speaking of shot, shot,
so
shot,
I right. Cheers.
cheers. Anytime we mention
Cheers,
shot.
y'all.
anytime, yes.
So long story short, I just strip out all my clothes. I just have like tuxedo boxers on and an afro, and I'm like going down the aisles. I'm seeing the grandparents, handing everyone shots, and it was a lot of fun. Like I had such a great time out there. Um,
Awesome.
just obviously like celebrating a beautiful
Yeah, it
wedding,
was
and but yeah, that was the first
yeah,
time we met,
it
which
was a
is
good time. That was my first introduction to
Oh my
Paul.
goodness.
And I had no idea really who he was at the time. He just seemed like the fun guy that liked to have a good time.
awesome.
So then the interesting thing is that somehow I think we connected on Instagram, and I showed one of my friends your Instagram, and she said just looking at it made her exhausted. Um, but the
That's
funny thing
funny.
is that I was on Instagram in May, and I was in Vegas, and you were on Instagram, and you had sent a message out, or you had done something, put a note,
Yeah,
and I was like, "You're in Vegas right now? I'm in Vegas right now." And I had no idea I was messaging you, and I was there for Tamla's birthday
yeah,
party.
right.
I remember telling you, "Yeah, I'm in Vegas. I'm here for one of my friends' birthdays, blah blah blah." And then uh still had no idea that you two even knew each other.
Right.
No clue. And so then later on, when I was getting things ready for my podcast, and I was saying I'm going to do a podcast, and I want to interview this guy who's like a professional raver, and I was like, I think I should have Tamala do the interview with me. Her personality just seems like it would go with this podcast. And so I reached out to Tam, and I reached out to you, and as I was messaging both of you, I realized that you two knew each other, and I had no
Yeah.
idea
Yeah,
that. I mean, what a small
It's
world,
so
right? I
small.
met you in
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah.
yeah, it was honestly the most random thing because actually, like, yeah, Tim and I are really close. Tim was brother and I are
Yeah.
like best buds, and
It's
yeah,
really
wild.
awesome.
I think it's such a beautiful connection.
Yeah.
And I try to Leonard too. Like Leonard's such an amazing connector as well. Him and I are very similar in that realm. Um, and but yeah, like this is it's awesome. You guys are so amazing, and I'm happy to be a part of this. And
Yeah, this
yeah,
is destined.
Yeah,
This is kismet.
we're excited to have you because we've got some questions for
uh,
you, and they'll probably get well, who knows what we'll ask. We'll see where the shots take
right.
us on this one, but let's start safe for now. So I want to go back to your background. You were an athlete. You were a football player.
Yes. So yeah, so I born and raised in Scottsdale, Arizona. I went to Sorrel High School. Lost one high school game in my career. Won three state championships. Was all state receiver and DB.
Hey.
Um, academic all everything. And so, anyways, I got a full ride scholarship to Rice University, and
Nice.
was started 42 straight games. Had 298 tackles, eighth all time in tackles. We won. Actually,
I know
we
how you
won.
just, I see how you
Yeah,
got them stats ready. You know your stat
yeah,
sheet. There you go.
yeah.
Boom.
Here's one of the championship rings from college. Here's one from high school. And so I have five championship rings, and these things are heavy for a reason. Like I put my blood, like I put my life on the line for this, and for me, it's like it started and ended in the locker room. And I wasn't the captain, but I was the locker room captain, where I made sure everyone was good, and I had a different handshake with everyone on the team, and I truly cared about my teammates. And so for me, it's like, obviously, it's like the camaraderie and the fellowship that you have for your brothers, and there's nothing like it. And so, obviously, like I come from a big football family. My dad played professionally. My brother played at Stanford. My grandpa played with the leather helmets. My great uncle was the first ever
Wow.
pro baseball player ever, way before Bo Jackson. His name was Rex Johnston.
Yes.
Um, so, like,
Yes.
I grew up like
The
truly.
football geek in Tamala
I
is
know.
going
I
crazy
used to
right
Yeah,
play
now.
football too. So, I mean, I was the
right.
girl. Yes, I did.
Yeah,
I played football, like for real, with
yeah.
the
So,
boys, and loved it.
You got some championship
No,
rings too.
fortunately.
but like I go from that.
Didn't you play in Japan?
Yeah, so I ended up after I graduated from Rice, I did the combine. I ended up getting a tryout with the Broncos. I ended up getting cut before I could even do the tryout, and I tried to
Mm.
play up in Canada where my dad played. Didn't I ended up pulling both my hamstrings, and I ended up
Oh,
just deciding not to play football. And then I credit my parents for actually encouraging me to continue to train, and I ended up getting an opportunity to play in Japan, and I played outside of Osaka and Namagasaki for the Asahi Soft Drink Challengers, and we ended up going. Like I actually had this amazing play where I stripped the ball and saved the game to get us to go to the playoffs. And I was the only American on the defensive side, so I was like averaging 13 to 15 tackles a game. I had this huge like Viking red beard. Like I actually do grow a red beard. It's crazy. I'm little Canelo Alvarez. I'm half
you
Mexican.
are. I
Yeah,
compared you to him the other day. Matter of
yeah.
fact.
And so anyway, so like it was an amazing experience, but like after the season I decided to hang it up because I just got to a point where like I was literally, if I didn't hurt someone in the game, I was upset. Like I had that mentality. Like I was legitimately a gladiator. And are you not entertained? Like Russell Crowe from Gladiator. And so like coming from
We get
that,
the reference.
yeah, and like coming from that, it was really, I came through a really tough depression once I
Mm.
stopped playing football. I retired really early at 26. I could have played till I was 36. Like I'm in the best shape of my life right now. I could still be playing, but CT is real. I definitely have had several concussions, a lot of them not diagnosed. And so getting away from the game, it was really difficult because I loved the competitiveness, the team, the aspect, the crowd, all that stuff.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, I had to look after, I had to look, to a future.
Yeah, you have to look after
Of
Yeah.
yourself and
course.
your
Yeah.
mental health,
Yeah.
and which is
Physical.
is interesting because when I was talking to you before, before we did this interview, you were telling me about all of these countries that you lived in,
Mhm.
and these wellness retreats that you did,
Yeah.
which I had no idea about. Tell us about some of the countries that you've lived in and what you were doing
Yeah.
there.
So, yeah, pretty much after Japan, I came back home and the world was chaos. Like Trump became president, and everyone was
The
talking about like,
world
oh, Trump.
chaos.
Everyone's talking about, oh, if Trump becomes president, I'll move out. No, like my ex and I actually did sell everything we owned. They were like deuces, and we went to Belize, and my ex and I we worked at a local elementary school. I was like a PE teacher. I was I was helping them with English, math, science. I worked with a special needs kid. I legitimately like was there all the time. And on top of that, we were like selling our retreat packages, and it was an amazing experience. It was also a sad experience because of just what's going on in that country. But at the end of the day, that was like the first eye opening experience to living out of the country. And then
Yeah.
I lived in Guatemala for a couple months, which was phenomenal. I hosted a retreat out there. Um, and then I ended up being in Bali for 6 months, and that's where Mike and I really tapped in. I every Sunday I would host a public speaking forum where we do like impromptu speeches, where everyone would write down a phrase or a topic on a piece of paper, and you pick randomly out of that hat and speak on it for 2 minutes. And it was such a beautiful experience because I really helped people get out of this monkey mind and into their heart center. Because at the end of the day, like once you
Hmm.
get out of here and down here and you speak, you're able to channel what you truly are meant to channel. And yeah, a couple of times when I was speaking, I had like instantly would get into tears and just drop in. And so like I would be the first person to go every time, and it was like super nerve wracking for me. But at the end of the day, it's like
Hmm.
building a muscle. And so, anyways, that was one thing. And then obviously we had transformational retreats where we focused on helping women start businesses, and then I would focus also on just men being able to open up and just feel and
Yeah.
not like that's one of the biggest things that men do not do is feel into their emotions. And so yeah, those like, I'm a breathwork facilitator, Reiki certified. Um,
Wow.
it's
So do you do that?
there's all
You do
these
that
different.
here in the States now too, because I think a lot of women and men, for that matter, would very much benefit from stuff like that. Where can people kind of find those type of retreats here?
Yeah, so what's beautiful is I actually just got connected with an amazing woman named Drea, and I'm looking to be hosting events and retreats maybe in
Hmm.
the fall in Sedona, Arizona. And it's a very
Mm.
majestic place where you can get away from the city and just tap into the beautiful red rocks and vortexes out there. So what I do is I take people on hikes out into the wilderness, and we just truly ground ourselves. We like go barefoot hiking, meditate, do
Hmm.
some breath work, and I'm a visionary, so I help people reverse engineer the life they want to live, and I do that by vision boards. I do that by just truly diving in with people one on one, and um, long story short, like I just have such a passion for helping people truly declare their freedom, and the only way we do that is we have to get out of our own way and stop self sabotaging ourselves,
Hmm.
and it's a journey. Like I'm 32 years old, but I lived many lives, and um,
Yeah, it sounds
at
like
the end
it.
of the day, like I decide to show up every day, and when I do that,
Hmm.
and when I'm present, that's when God gifts, or Allah, or Yahweh, or whatever energy or source gives gifts, and
That's something I'm working on, is trying to be present.
yeah,
I am always so everyone the feedback I always get is that I'm so focused on the
yeah,
Hmm.
destination
not the journey.
that I don't appreciate the
Hmm.
journey.
Mhm.
And so I've been working on that. That's what therapy is for. Luckily, I have a therapy session tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to remember to bring that
The
up.
biggest thing I always tell people is that our words mean everything or they mean nothing. So
Hmm.
every word I use is very intentional. So when you're saying like I'm trying, no, try is not a word. You can't try and tie your
Hmm.
shoes. You can't should, could, would, anything. And so once we delete these really low vibrational words, we can truly manifest. I am that I am. I am is the most powerful two words you can say
Mhm.
because you're completely putting a stake in the ground, saying this is what I am. You know, so like when I say,
Well, I am working on
there
being
we go.
present.
There we go.
There
That's the perfect
there we
response.
go.
I'm working on. I'm not
I
trying.
am
I'm
working on being present.
correct.
We're gonna have you host maybe this will be a mindfulness session actually.
Right.
Um, and you mentioned Sedona.
Hmm.
So, what were you doing this last week?
Yeah. So I went up with four of my friends. My producer friend makes hip hop and EDM tracks, and there's actually a music studio in this home, which is phenomenal. And so they were making music while I was shooting content. I'm a content creator for myself and others,
Mhm.
photographer, videographer.
Mhm.
I've been doing it for over 10 years, and it's gotten to the point where it's like second nature. Like I'm not even like it's just like so natural for me. Um, and so, anyways, I was shooting content slash. I was talking to the homeowner about how I can incorporate my events and retreats into her home, and so we literally just had like a little dry run, a couple of days of just being in that energy and like once I see a space, like I'm an event person, so once I see a space, I'm like, all right, there's so much room for activities. Like what can we do here, 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 and how many
Mhm.
people, and so like right now we're in the rough draft era, but really excited to get back into this transformational setting. I love promotion, all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm not truly helping people. I'm helping people get wasted and have a good time, but I'd rather have people truly ground themselves and truly see the path that they want to live. So
So you know that I'm gonna need, yeah, I'm gonna definitely need to get in on that because I've done the both. I've done the partying all night long, but
yeah,
that is something that I think will truly help people, uplift
yeah,
them, and everything. To know that somebody like you, because most people probably wouldn't think Rave Daddy Paul also will really help you get centered and help you see you and help you
yeah.
with the I am that I am. And so that's really
That's why I have my shaman name is purely present Paul. So that was my
good.
Instagram name before,
Ooh.
because like
Ooh,
once we
purely
like truly
present
if
Paul.
we are present, that is truly when we're gifted, and because I don't live for tomorrow, I live for now,
There we go.
and
Or it could be hippie rave daddy
yeah,
Paul.
there's a lot of things. Sugar Daddy Paul,
Oh. Oh.
Sugar
almost
Mama
we're almost
Paul.
Sugar Mom, Rave Mama Paul.
Ooh.
Like it's just
You were mentioning being a creator,
mhm.
and I've noticed that you have quite the following on Facebook and Instagram. So how were you able to build such a following?
So it was all organic. Like this is like predates everything. Like, predates Vine and live Instagram and everything. I would go rollerblade for a couple hours and I would just be like, I'd create a post, be like, hey, let me know what song you want me to dance to, and I would create like dance videos off of people's favorite songs around the world. I'd have people in China, Russia, Australia, you name it, and I'd give them like a little video, and I'd put their little photo of themselves in the corner, and then put the song, and
Mhm.
then put my dance video, and I'd create this whole thing where they would share it, and like I just like I understand how like people work and like how like if you get people to share, like that's where obviously it ripples, and then I got into this thing. I had a beard, and I got into this group called Bearded Villains, and like they rewarded me the selfie king because I literally take selfies all day. And they even had like a meetup in Vegas. There was like a beard convention. That was wild.
He has so many
I
names.
know.
It's
Oh,
like every phase of his
oh,
life
so,
has a
oh
different
yeah. I'm
name.
like it's a catch 22. Like I literally Leonardo DiCaprio. I have like literally 22 different personalities. Like my names were like Lion King Paul because I was really into like my lion and being a king. Purely present Paul, Polly Paul.
I feel like you switch your Instagram name a lot too,
Yep.
because
So
every time I'm like,
yeah,
"Wait, wasn't he something else?" And
I gotta
then
keep people on
yeah,
their toes. Like that's just like I at the end of the day it's like um honestly though like Rave Daddy Paul is like really sticking, and like I'm just testing the
Mhm.
market out. But like the EDM realm. So long story short, I work in music festivals across the country.
Mhm.
I plan on being on stage dancing this next year at EDC or Electric Forest because I do Latin, hip hop, and I'm a shuffler. Um, and obviously, bigger goals is I plan on being one of the top house DJs to come out
Wait,
in the
you're
next
DJ
couple of years.
too?
Yeah,
On top of
that's
all of
the
that, you have another talent?
so like long story short, like the best way to be the curator of a good time is to control the music. And
Right.
like I know what pops, I know what bops, and I know what flops. And like so, I know you gotta keep the people
Me too.
going.
The best clubs are in my car,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
duh.
literally.
Right.
What?
Like, people will enjoy being in my
Yeah,
car more than they will enjoy being in a
Yeah.
club
of course.
because
You know the bangers.
I'm telling you, when it comes to
Yeah.
music,
Yeah, yeah. So like,
yeah.
um, honestly, this last EDC I went to, Grizz, I was at a set the first night, and it was such a transformational experience for me because I was just like sitting there, just like completely tapped into him and like what he was doing to the crowd, and just like observe. I go to like events and I go to concerts and to observe and to see how I can make an event in that magnitude. And yeah, it was a life changing moment because I came out of an 8 month depression before UC, and I was like 25 pounds overweight. I was just like just binge watching shows and not doing anything and just like cutting everyone out. And like I know it's bad when I'm not listening to music or dancing because those are my two favorite things to
Mhm.
do. And so like EDC like really was like an energetic chiropractor adjustment for me. And after that, I dropped 25 pounds. Like I had 5 job offers. I am the top promoter in Arizona. I'm going to be in Vegas, obviously working with Tamla with the Raiders and supervising TwitchCon in October and just being in a place of abundance. So like now I truly understand. Like I don't give from a half cup or a half full glass. I give from a cup of overflow.
There you go.
And
Mm.
so it's like that's why like people are like, oh, how do you do what you're doing like in the nightlife promotions? Because like I'm just like showing up and being me, and it radiates. And you're a magnet of not the opposite about who you are.
You travel around and you don't just party in Scottsdale. You literally travel around the country to different raves, to different
Yeah,
festivals, to different. How do you hear about all of that? I mean, because literally, I call you a professional
PLUR is
raver
life.
because,
yeah,
yes, like, I mean, literally, this is what you
yeah.
do
Um,
all day, every
yeah.
day.
So I credit my friend Stefan, who got me into this realm 2 years ago. Like, Dan hired me on at EDC, and I met this awesome guy from Baltimore, um, who has been in the scene for like 10 years, and I pretty much was like his Padawan slash apprentice, and um, he just showed me the ropes, and I just was a sponge, and like once you get in, like you're
Yeah.
locked, like it's like you get offers all the time, and I mean it's not the
Mhm.
most like profitable business, but it is an experience, and
It's more than just money with that, with
yeah,
the
yeah,
PLUR
of
life. It's more than just money. And
course. And what's great is like I've been helping bring the Plur life, the peace, love, unity, respect life to Old Town Scottsdale, and like it's been very amazing to see the transition, like way more loving environment, not
hmm
hostile, and people wanting to fight each other, and um, because yeah,
I feel like you're from a different time though, because when I think of like raves and parties, when Tamla and I were growing up,
couple
the
years
whole
ago.
rave scene had a just, yeah, not,
a lot more
just
grungy.
not too long ago. It was it was a very different scene. It was very, and we'll show some pictures of Tam in her
Oh
rave
yeah, I love
days.
that.
Um,
Yes.
we'll definitely share some photos on this podcast of Tam from her rave days. But I feel like the vibe was very different. Like the vibe that you're describing is so much like peace, love, unity, all of that stuff. And I was not a raver, so I don't really know what
It
was going
was.
on. Tam,
It still was back then, but I think Now, um, the younger generation of plurs, the younger generation have kind of just elevated it because even when I was younger and I was raving, it was one of those things that people didn't even think, I'm a black woman and, I love this. And like, how are you, how are you going to raves and stuff? But it's kind of just like Paul said, one thing that I really appreciated and loved, and Paul, I'm sure you definitely know this, is I've been to a million parties. I've been to rock concerts, rap concerts, everything. But the only place that I've never really seen real drama was at a rave. Like, people are just, I love you. Like, it just is like people, total strangers, just hug you, and
Yeah,
you end up talking. You find your tribe. Like, you find these tribe of people that are total strangers, but you have something to connect. And I think, Paul, you understand that it's finding the love. There's so much of this world is hate, and to find the love in people is very rare. And I think that the PLUR lifestyle, which is peace, love, unity, and respect, that lifestyle, that's the monogram, but that's the moniker for it, and that kind of says it all. And that's I think what grew Paul up. You seem like you're kind of like a child of that, not a
Yes,
real child,
like
but
he a child of the
a child
movement.
of the movement
Yeah. Yeah.
realistically. And so you're able to kind of take it and make it your own, because you don't just do that. You've met all these people and get with all these people, but then you find a way to bring people together, make people happy, to understand it's not just about partying all the time, but you also have to fill yourself up. You got to overflow that cup. You
yeah,
understand? So I really
It
like
doesn't
that.
feel as grungy.
Yeah.
It feels like what Paul describes. I feel like in the
Night.
I was about to, I was about
No
to say a
numbers.
decade. It was
yeah.
grungier.
It was.
Well, it's
Um,
like, it's like that
there was just
European.
a different
What was
kind of
that
vibe.
European culture came out like the German dubstep and like it's like yeah everyone's in black and all that. But
Mhm.
no, it's beautiful. Like I just came back from Pride San Diego, and
Mhm.
Hmm.
like my favorite thing to do is just to be like one of the first people to be on the dance floor. It's like someone's got to get the ball rolling. It's like I'm always the first person in my nightclubs. I'm always the first person on the dance floor. Um, because it's just like it's what a beautiful thing is like how people will just start coming out like I help give permission for others to not give a f about anything like just be here like have fun and
Right.
when I teach people how to shuffle, the first thing I say is like, all right, the first thing about shuffling is like just don't care, like just don't worry about it, just go for it. And so, anyways, like oh man, it's just
Wait, can you explain what that is? The
what's that?
shuffle. Can you just
Yeah,
really quick
shuffling.
explain as much as
So
possible?
I mean, shuffling is like I mean, obviously, if you guys know LMFAO, like where at Miami, man, like that group like really put shuffling on the map, and shuffling is just a instead of like the Running Man is just like it's a fluid.
Wait,
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
LMFAO.
Red
LMFAO.
Bull. What?
That was
That
the
was the
shot
shot
song.
shots,
It was
right?
them.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yes.
Little John.
Full
That's what.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Full
I
circle.
knew it was going to come
yeah,
to
but
me.
like yeah, like party rock anthem. Like I grew up and that was the most awesome thing. Like Red Food, like they're wearing like super vibrant clothes and cheetah print. And they're out in
Hmm.
Florida. But anyways, yeah, shuffling is just a type of dance move, like the Running Man, but more fluid and um, it's just
Yeah,
yeah,
like the Running Man, but like with more up. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And then
yeah.
like in circles in different ways.
Can you demonstrate, Paul? Can you please
Okay,
demonstrate
that's
this?
oh man. Let's see.
Will it show?
I don't know if I can.
I don't know.
Here, let's see.
Let's see. Okay.
Let's see. There
There.
we go. There we go.
Yeah. Like you're just moving. You're moving your
Okay.
feet
Uh huh.
Okay.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see you. I see your leg.
Okay. Uh
yeah, spot
oh.
on.
Oh boy. Uh oh.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the
anyways,
camera's not that big, so you can't do too much. You got to stay in the shot. But I got it.
So, so yeah. So
No, I love that. I love that the message of it. And sometimes, it just takes that one person that goes out there who's confident enough in themselves to be able to like not care what anyone else thinks
Right.
about them and just show people like it's okay to let
Yeah.
loose and just have
yeah,
fun. Like if you wanted to take a shot right now, you could just and not care. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just takes one person to do it first and then everyone else
yeah,
follows.
and
No, but seriously though, that's what I think you're really good at. When I met you, sometimes you just meet those people that are connectors.
Hmm.
Those people that they've never met someone who wasn't a
yeah,
friend,
Hmm.
and they just
Hmm.
kind of they're able to community build wherever they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
And that was definitely the vibe I got from you when I met you.
yeah. No, it was just, yeah,
Oh,
that wedding was such a beautiful experience. Like everyone coming together. Like we had such an amazing week. It was just like celebration, and I tell people this like every day that ends with Y is a celebration, and
There you go.
like I truly believe every day for me is a
well,
Saturday.
if if we had your
Right?
job,
Right.
we might
Yeah.
think the same
Like I mean,
thing. Yeah.
I've
For some of us, every day is not a
for
celebration.
sure,
And Saturday is
and
Okay.
Saturday, but
and
I
it's
understand what you're saying.
yeah, like
Yeah, but we get what you're saying. But I want to go back to something, actually, two things. Actually, from something that Tamala said, but it reminded me of a conversation I had with you. And she mentioned how when she would go to raves, she would be kind of one of a few women of
yeah,
Mhm.
color that would be at the rave. And I think for me, when I was growing up, it always seemed like raves were something that like white
mm,
people did, that white people went
yeah,
to raves and people of color were not really represented.
yeah,
It was like you go to the hip hop clubs
Mhm.
and the rave scene is for
yeah.
white people. And so I'm just curious, has that changed now? Because you mentioned your friend Stefan, and I feel like you told me about him before and about the experiences that he's had as a person of color being at these raves. So tell me about
I
that.
can't speak totally on it, but like for me, I've definitely witnessed, yeah, I've definitely witnessed racism at music festivals. I've definitely seen that primarily like people of color are the ones working the events, not attending them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Whether it becomes
Mhm.
like literally, there's a lot of money that people have to spend as well, and so yeah, the wealthier, obviously, white communities that are able to afford these festivals, um, and it's unfortunate, but like I do see there's definitely a shift. There's a lot more people of color DJs out there, and I think it's just like a matter of time before like more and more people are introduced to the music. Um, but yeah, like it's
Well,
definitely it's pretty evident that
you
there's
do know originally, and I know that a lot of people don't realize or even know this, but
Chicago. Chicago's where I
house
was.
music, where it was born,
Yeah.
Baltimore, Maryland,
Oh, I thought
are
house
my
music
roots.
was.
Okay, my roots. House music, like the true
Ah,
art form
okay.
of that music, was born. It did come from, it was a black thing at first, but it's something like, that's the thing that I think sometimes even people need to understand. There are certain things that will extend all borders. There's no color, there's no nothing. Like it just is what it is. And the rave
Our
music,
our EDM
right,
our EDM was like Chicago
right,
house music.
right.
Do you
Yeah,
remember that?
yeah, that's what
Bang
I'm
bang
saying.
bang ski
But
ski
that's how
ski.
it
Bang. Do you remember
started.
those?
But that's how it started. And I only knew that because my family in Baltimore, when I was like a kid at like 9, 8 years old, and I'm going with my older cousins to their friend's house, and I'm listening to this music, and it's like, and I'm like, okay, okay. And then all of a sudden it becomes this worldwide phenomenon. And like, even think of the 90s, the early 90s. What was that song? Yeah, you wanna do it? It was all all those. Sorry, don't let me.
I have
No
no
idea
idea what
what
I
that
it's
know
sound
just
was.
that.
I shouldn't even started that right there, but it's
And let
something
me just
that was
say,
born from more.
this is not a historically correct show, so we don't know
Oh,
exactly any where
The
things
the
generate.
fact checks.
Well,
that one I can
Tam
tell you
Tam
for
might know.
sure.
I just want to put a disclaimer
That
out
one,
there
shout out
that
B more. Shout out B more. That's the
okay,
only thing I know
I,
because
Uh,
I remember it before I remembered it in Chicago before I was like, wait, I know this from before. And then all of a sudden it became something else. But even when I was younger, and especially now, there's more people of color. It's just, I think that, and Paul, I don't know if you kind of see this too. It's just that you're kind of put into a little bit of a box with that type of stuff because they're thinking, okay, well, this isn't going to be something that we like. But I know a lot of people of color who are in the rave scene, but it's never as much as, others.
yeah,
But it's not when people of color actually want to explore it. I've not met anybody that's gone back like that's not liked it and not had a good time and not
yeah,
like I've always been maybe because I'm a girl and all that other stuff. I've always had like the best experiences,
yeah.
but I know that it's more of a what is that? And it just seems like these people are doing it. So I don't know. Everybody's just looking crazy and stuff like that. But I think it's something.
I hate to I don't want to cut you
Mm-mm,
off, but I'm going to forget my second point that I had 2 points in the beginning,
see,
and don't want to. No, I don't want to forget the second one because we talked about, peace, love, unity, respect. But I also know that there are dangers associated with this
Mhm.
lifestyle as
Yeah.
well. So I'm curious, Paul, what have you experienced in terms of dangers associated to this kind of rave culture or professional partying scene?
Yeah, obviously, like in the music festival scene, obviously there's a lot of drug use happening and drinking, and people just not really eating and not really sleeping. And unfortunately,
water.
yeah, hydration is a huge. There's a lot of people dropping out because they're dehydrated, and it's unfortunate. Like a lot of fentanyl has been getting, obviously into the market, and so yeah, like it is something that like for me, like I'm hosting retreats on it now, but I plan on hosting my own festival, where it's like a mindful festival, where we're hiking, dancing, and doing yoga, and that's like my brand is hike, dance, yoga. So, um, but we're really tapping into nature, and we're not there to like just party hard. Like we're there to truly celebrate and be with the community, and so that's something like in the
What about, because I know with you, you tend to have a positive
yeah.
slant
Mhm.
on things where, you turn the negative into a positive. But what about other dangers outside of the drug scene, but things like, you know,
Yeah,
shootings? I know there was a period of time where it felt like every time we would go out in college or something, there
yeah.
was a
Mm-hmm.
shooting, or there was a, how is that like, are there or a fight would break out? Is that something that you see in the party culture as well, or is that different?
Honestly, I have not lately, and that's what it really comes down to the type of music too. It's like when you have music that's talking about gangbanging and shooting and robbing, and it's just like, all right, it's subconsciously being planted in you, and that's the frustrating thing. Is like these clubs are just like promoting such violence. So what's gonna happen? People are gonna get riled up and do exactly what they're listening to, and that's why it's like I really am careful of what I listen to and what I watch, and
Mhm.
because regardless, you're being embedded information, and yeah, like in the nightlife scene, like I got hit in the head with in the back of the head with a glass bottle and sort of jumped by people, and like luckily, like I was a pro athlete and I could toss 300-pound linemen around,
Right, I
and
was
like
about to see where them.
the last thing you want to do is like mess with me, like please, and
I was like, wait, weren't you
yeah, so like
defense?
So how do you stay safe and healthy when you're
so like
partying?
for me, hydration, like I eat the right foods, I
Mhm.
fast, I'm not really drinking that much alcohol. Um, and I'm dancing. I can dance like 5 an hour.
Yeah,
I sweat everything,
I agree.
and like so,
Whew.
I'm just naturally detoxing every day, and I listen to my body. Like I sleep when I need to sleep. I eat when I need to eat. And people are like, "How do you do it?" I'm like, "I call it disco naps. Like I'll take a nap. It might be a 5 hour nap. It might be a 10 hour
Wait,
nap.
wait, 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 wait. You did not coin the term disco naps,
I did
boo.
not. I did not.
You got it, because
Oh,
I know about
oh
those.
yeah, yeah. No,
If
I'm
my
not. I'm
mom
not
were on this
claiming.
podcast right now,
I'm
I
not.
was like, can we turn it back to our local
Yeah, yeah.
historian,
I,
Tamla, please,
Disco,
to tell us the
disco,
no,
origin
disco
of
naps
the
was
disco
originated in
nap?
he
1932.
knows. Disco naps is that's been what it's called.
Oh, of
That's
course, of
been what it's
course.
called.
So lots of
Yeah,
hydration, lots of rest, lots of hiking,
yeah. Lots of
dancing.
ways to sweat out the
Those
toxins if you are partying, and but like I said, I've been doing this since God. Like I'm 32. I've been a professional party for 10 years at least, and so
This is like a big commitment
I
though.
know.
Like
Yeah.
literally, I mean, your days are dedicated to this. Your
yeah.
nights, your Instagram is crazy. Just
Yes,
like
well, I have so much. I have that's like only 1% of my content. Like I'm overflowed with the most amazing content, and that's where like I truly, long story short, like I'm gonna be filming a pilot reality TV show on my life. It's like a Rob Dyrdek meets rave culture meets fantasy factory meets,
What?
meets charitable work. And
how do you balance all of that though with every other responsibility? Because going out and partying all night, late into the night, and then trying to still be, well, I guess you could create content when you're out partying, but like to shoot a pilot and to lead these, like how do you balance your party lifestyle with other
I think I
responsibilities
And
was
in
just
your life?
family and stuff like
yeah,
that. Like, you know.
I was crafted this at a young age. Like I literally, my mom and dad had me playing 5 sports growing up. I played football,
Okay.
basketball, track, hockey, soccer. I was in band,
Right.
I was in choir. Like
You were
I know
always
I'm
busy,
a
so you're used to
I'm a
being.
juggler. Like I can't just do one thing.
Hmm.
I'd be so bored.
Hmm.
Like I'm always shifting energy and doing something different. And like I can really tap into
Mhm.
my feminine side and get really. I get really down with my stylist. I'll go into your closet and pick out the clothes for a boudoir shoot or a shoot out in the city. And um,
A boudoir
yeah, like
I,
shoot?
I know. I said, wait, did he say what I think he
yeah,
said?
yeah. Like
I no, that's what
like
he
oh yeah,
said. That's
like
what he said.
obviously I'm one of those people that will make you like I really help people get comfortable in front of cameras, which is like obviously it's tough to do, but like it's anything that's building the muscle up. And I just love capturing people's essence, and yeah, so it's like during football in college, I was never able to go to film school. I was never able to do the artsy things I wanted to do. And so like now I'm like living this life of like truly being an artist, and like I have my own like apparel line coming out, Rave fans, and all my
What?
funky shades. Like I'll be wearing like I'll be having like my own custom shades like this, and
You
and
know?
just helping people shift their
Oh,
energy and like and make them
Mhm.
feel good. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
What do you think the future of this lifestyle will look like in 5 years, say? How do you think it will
or in
change
general.
from like, just kind of in
Mm,
general? Like what do you think the future will look like for this lifestyle that, this party, this rave kind of lifestyle? Is it going to be, do you picture it kind of the same but 5 years later, or do you feel like it's going to evolve in some way?
I mean, I don't think it's really going to evolve that much in the 5 years. I have no idea. That was a great question. like, I have,
did we
like,
stump you finally?
I, I wish I could see that, but I mean, I don't think much is going to change, to be honest with you. Um,
I'm waiting for like it'll be blessed with
yeah, I mean,
love
that's,
and
well, that's what
kindness
it's like
and
creating a new,
happiness. And
I guess that's why like, I'm really drawn to creating a new festival to really embark on that culture.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And for you, I mean, you've talked about, I'm thinking of, I mean, just for you in 5 years, you've talked about shooting a pilot and apparel line. I mean, you're all over the
Yeah.
Right.
place. you've kind of you've lived life by your own rules, really. I mean, I think you could do whatever you wanted to. I mean, you've been able to. Actually, that leads me to a question. How do you make a living in this lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, so this is just one aspect. Like, I have multiple streams that I work with. Like, I was in solar sales. I helped recruit for solar. I helped build a team. I showed them how to do door to door knocking. I was digital marketing, selling SEO digital marketing packages with Facebook ads, Google ads. So my background really is
Mhm.
sales. If
Okay.
you ever met my dad, like, he is the number one hustler in the valley. Like, he will rock up with a guitar to a restaurant and just perform so he gets a good job. And when I was playing football, same thing. It's like I had to learn how to sell myself. Like, there's no way I would have
Hmm.
been a pro football player if I didn't know how to sell myself to coaches and
Right.
myself. Like, I had to believe. And so, like, at the end of the day, it's like the art of believing and what you're selling. And so now I sell people on having a good time, and it's been the best. Like, I'm about to go out to Vegas and crush it, um, with all the tools I've been truly sharpening. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, like, other day, I just go.
When are you coming back out here?
No,
Oh, sorry.
Well, for sure, like when the Raiders game start, but probably in a couple
2 weeks.
weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, so 2 weeks then I'm out there.
one thing I wanted to touch on just with you as a person is how much you love to give
Yeah,
back,
Hmm.
which I think is a really cool thing about you because with all of this partying and with all this connecting and everything, you find ways to incorporate giving
mm,
Yeah.
back into what you
mm,
do. And I think that's awesome. But I was thinking about the hikes that you do and I've got some photos of some of the really cool dance hikes that you put on where people literally put costumes on and they hike and they dance. But you also find ways to give back doing
mm.
that. How did that start and why is that so important
Yeah.
to you?
I mean, it all starts when I was in Boy Scouts. Like, we always did, like, we do Eagle Scout projects and fundraisers,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, and then in college, I was in this. It was like some type of business class where we had to raise money for some type of like person or community, and this little baby girl had like a open heart transplant, and I had a handlebar mustache at the
Mhm.
time, and we sold in 3 days. We
Mm.
got $1,200 to shave off my. We did like a mustache drive. We shaved off my mustache
Oh,
for
wow.
charity for the little baby girl, and like, I'm really resourceful. Like, when it comes to like raising money for people, using obviously the different websites to like GoFundMe, but also telling the message. And on top of that, I've fostered pit bulls. I like obviously feed the homeless. I literally was like,
You've raised money through your hikes?
yeah,
I saw
yeah. So
some
like
photos of you.
it's called the Hike Dance Yoga Extravaganza, and it's all like we hike, we dance, and we
Mhm.
do yoga on top of a mountain. And I would raise money for children that needed like a better education. Um, like, I've worked with Child Help, which is the number one abused children's hotline, uh,
Great.
and
Hmm.
yeah, it's just I go back and talk to the elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools I went to, and just encourage kids. I plant seeds in these kids to um, not put your eggs in one basket, but like be well rounded, because you never know what your
Mhm.
opportunity is going to be. Like, I could, like, it's just I could have gotten injured one day in high school and I've been done, and then what?
Right.
And so it's yeah. And obviously, I credit my mom and dad. Shout out to them for raising me well and having a good
Mhm.
head on my shoulders and just caring. Like, my mom's an
Yeah.
ER nurse. I come from a family of healers. Like, I'm always attracting good people. I'm also attracting people that truly need help, and
Mhm.
I've learned how to like hold space and yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. And so I want to just kind of end with a question. What advice would you give to someone who aspires to this lifestyle?
I think, I mean, the first thing that came up to me was detachment, detaching yourself from the outcome. because what happens is like people really cling on, like I need this, I need to do this, this, and this, and I want to make sure that these people get here. At the end of the day, you don't have nothing. There's no, um, there's everything's out of your control. It's
Right.
like, my favorite saying or my favorite quote is like Mike Tyson says this: "Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face." And it's just like there's no such thing as a plan. It's just like being prepared and
Mhm.
being able to maneuver and see the awareness and take action. And so, like, I guess the biggest thing for me too is like a lot of people do this. They talk, talk, talk.
Mhm.
I walk, walk, walk. And there's a
There you
big
go.
difference because I'm all about action. So I'm a man of my word. When I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there. I make sure that, yeah, like,
I can attest to that too.
yeah, yeah, it's like,
I can
even,
attest to
even at
that.
EDC, like, everyone's got,
You might need a couple text
yeah.
reminders,
But it's
maybe a
like,
couple phone
yeah, for
calls,
example,
but
at
he'll
He'll
be
be
EDC,
there.
there.
no, at EDC is like, it's like there's no excuse. Like people are like, oh, why are you late? I'm like, no, like I made sure, like even if I didn't sleep, it's like I'm gonna be there. I lead by example, and so yeah, like it's definitely been.
You have no idea how difficult it is to schedule a podcast with Rave Daddy Paul
That's
because
not true.
his
It is
schedule
honestly, yeah.
his schedule
It's
is
yeah.
Yeah.
crazy in
It's about to
between
be. It's about to be
trips
really
and
crazy.
Yeah.
parties and promoting.
Well, it's like,
Even right now, it's 11 o'clock
oh,
my
oh shoot,
time.
that is right. Oh my gosh.
It's
Well,
eleven
I blame
o'clock
It's
my
Tamara for
time on the
that.
8 o'clock
East
our
Coast,
time, which means
8 o'clock
It
your
means it's about to
time.
be shot o'clock. Oh, this is it.
I was okay.
Do you just have shots lined up over there?
yeah.
No, I poured one
So pretty much after
while you
I'm
were
going to California
speaking.
for a week, and then
Oh, Tamala did have them lined up ready. Sorry.
hey, so I'm gonna be in Cali this next week, and then I'll definitely be out in Vegas then if that's when the first Raiders game is. And but I'm really excited. I
Whatever
love
the first Raiders game is.
yeah.
So
So like I'm really excited. I love.
Wait, are you scheduling a meeting on our
No, I'm
podcast?
just letting everyone know that we're going to
no.
turn to Vegas.
Oh no.
Uh, but anyways, like
You
yeah,
see that
I'm just
you see he doesn't he can't, he's not he's all over the place,
done.
but in a good way. No, he
Uh,
actually is doing me a solid. So at the end of the day.
letting all his followers know where he will be because he has a
yeah,
following. I feel like I need to just show up at what I have a friend who was like, she saw his pictures of his hikes and was like, "We've got to go to
yeah,
Arizona. I have
Yeah.
to do one of his hikes. I have to go." And I lived in Arizona for
yeah,
9
Yeah.
years. I lived in Phoenix for 9 years. Um Longer than I've been in
Yeah.
DC. And I used to love hiking when I was out there. And I'm like, that would have been so fun if I would have known. Well, you probably didn't have those when I was
yeah.
there because I've been out here for about 7 years
Um,
now. But I need to stop with the numbers
like,
again. I
I
keep going on
know.
and on.
D,
And,
come on, man. You just,
you know, I
people gonna
know,
add up the math in a second and be like,
you know. No, but I love that. I love how open you are with where you're going, because you do have a large following, and I think people gravitate towards people that they know they're going to have a good time
yeah,
"Hmm,
around, or they know that they're going to feel good when they're around, right? Like nobody wants to be around people who make them feel like
yeah,
shit when
and
they're there. I mean, and literally,
well, I
people
was gonna say,
gravitate
and
towards
on top of
you.
that, though, is like I've learned now to have really solid boundaries, though, because there's people that will fan your flame, and there's people that will diminish it,
and that will diminish it."
and so
Mm-hmm.
it's like learning really
Energy
quickly who
suckers.
the leeches are, the vampires are, and learning the people that are truly there unconditionally. And
So, when's
Yeah.
the next time you're gonna be in Sedona for a retreat? Is there anything? I mean, do you post that on your social media platform for people
well,
that may want to join?
no, it's more of like an invite only. Like it's very exclusive, like 8 people, and I would
Okay.
reach out. Obviously, I'm gonna reach out to y'all, but like for me, it's like yeah, like I
Wait. So Tam and I have an
Right.
invite,
You
right?
know where I was going
uh,
with that anyway. I'm like,
duh, duh,
I know.
and but yeah, so like yeah,
open invite.
that'll be like September, October for sure. When I'm not working in Vegas, but yeah, like it's I came back just like my soul's on fire, and I just like crushed it last night at my table. And that's what I love to do. Is like when I do these sunrise hikes on Camelback on Wednesdays. That energy, once leaving that mountain, it radiates through the rest of the day. And I call myself an energy surfer because I am a Pisces and I'm all about water, but I know how to ride the wave until it obviously coasts into the sand. But I tell people this: the biggest thing we do is like don't get too high with the highs or too low with the lows. Because I did a 10-day silent retreat, and it was all about truly
A
being
10-day what? I'm sorry.
a 10-day silent retreat. Yeah, so yeah, it's
Silence.
called Vipassana, and I did a whole podcast on it, and that was the biggest hurdle I had because I had this like crazy like extra like I felt my soul leave my body and I came back and I had this extremely amazing experience. But then God, whatever's like
Mm,
boom, the next day, just like the worst time of my life. And it's just like remember to like we have to have that balance, and that's why I really like after nightclubs I really have to ground myself because I get like extremely the energy is so high and I'm just vibing
Mm,
so high. But I remember I had to like take out my shoes and socks and like ground into the earth
yeah.
and truly be here. It's like we're not, we weren't put on this planet to be fairies.
What? Just I know we're gonna end soon, but what would you give to the younger people that are thinking about this scene, to be in this scene, to be ravers, peace, love, unity, respect, to understand PLUR in all of its glory and then the good and the bad? What advice would you give to people that want to be you, that want to do what you do?
Um, I mean, it's tough because it's like I don't even know how to begin. Like
Did we stump you again?
yeah, because I just started.
Twice in one coffee?
Yeah, like I just started raving like a year and a half ago. Like yeah, I've been to like music shows and stuff, but like I think for me it's just like being um, having lowering your expectations.
Mhm.
That's one of the biggest things. Being open to meeting people
mhm,
and making sure if you're doing party favors to get them tested to like because like it's real like fentanyl's
Being
everywhere
safe.
and being safe
Being safe.
and
mhm,
having a buddy or having someone with you. Don't rave by yourself. Like having community. Even though I do rave by myself, like I don't recommend that at all. And yeah, so like those are the biggest things I'd say.
okay. Well, thank you
Of
so
course.
much for joining us. This was a really
Yeah.
fun conversation, and we'll do our last shot to
Let's
close
go.
out for
Shot, 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 shot,
the.
shot. Everybody.
We'll go back to the wedding song.
Yeah.
Cheers, y'all. Hey, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate y'all. I definitely excited to have some of my other friends get on this podcast and share it, and I look forward to seeing
I
both of
think
them.
we should do this again.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna tell
Let's
Oh
we should do
yeah,
this again
we'll
because we could go a little
for
bit deeper.
sure.
We could go a lot
yeah,
deeper into this, and I think we have a good time. And
yeah. We're just touching
yeah,
on touch. We can give definitely a deeper dive into the community and the different aspects for sure. Um, so I look
You're
forward to
welcome
part two for
anytime.
sure.
no,
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks
thank
everyone.
you.
Thanks for
Thanks for having me as
listening.
well.
Yay.
PLUR,
Love
please, you have love, unity, and respect, everybody.